Good to go. All right, so with that said, let me just go ahead and again introduce myself as Dan LDN 100X on the Vetter platform. With that said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some projects today here in our daily discussion. So just want to make sure everybody can see my screen. So if you can't, just let me know. But with that said, let me go ahead and head on over here, to the Vetter dashboard. Before we do that, I don't believe that we've got any, big new announcements today. So like I said, just going to go ahead and head into a project now. If anybody's got a project in particular that they would like to, have me highlight, by all means, just go ahead and drop that in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and just let me know, and we can take a look at that on the calendar. So, but we'll go ahead and we'll just keep moving on. With that said, the first project I want to take a look at is called Solidus Tech AI. I've looked at this project, before, not necessarily on the call, but just looking at it on the calendar, and this is a pretty big project. Did a vetting on this, very recently. And I'm not going to bring up the website for this particular project just because it takes a while to load. Sometimes I get lucky and it'll go ahead and load right away, but the intro video they have on the website, it is definitely kind of processor intensive. So with everything else running on my computer right now, I will just spare you from the time of trying to get that to load. But with that said, we'll probably go ahead and take a look at the Telegram, but we'll go through just some of the information, here, on this report. We'll take a look at the scout report, and we'll also take a look at the vetting report. So with that said, as far as the scout report is concerned, the scout here, who's Matrix, says that the website looks, pretty neat and professional. I would have to agree. It is a very well put together website. They partnered with various companies, including Microsoft. The white paper, agreed, very well written and planned out, and it's very detailed. The team is fully doxed, and they've done a lot of famous influencer AMAs. And then he also mentioned here gem hunters. I will say that yes, this project, they have done a lot of AMAs for sure. And they are going to continue to do that until they've launched. So, and even as far as the launch is concerned, on this particular report, they're saying 6/1. We don't know for sure what day in June the launch is supposed to take place, but the month for launch is supposed to be in June. So they have communicated that in their Telegram. So they've got some comments here, and if you're familiar, with our reports, on the platform, you'll notice that there are always, positives, comments, red flags, notes that are associated with the scouting report. And then up here, you can see, where we've got any of the other tabs, which are just your vetting reports. So, but yeah, so with that said, if you're familiar, great. If you're not familiar, that's kind of how our reports are laid out. On the comments, they've got several different comments here, in regards to this particular project, that they're stating that it's a computation network created to distribute computing power to organizations working on complex AI projects. What you may not know is that the project actually is a subsidiary, of a different company. And I believe that was Solidus Technologies, and that's on the veteran report. Solidus Technologies. So UK-based company established in 2017. The company was an ETH mining organization, and then they figured out that at some point, you're not going to be able to mine ETH anymore. So they wanted to go ahead and change their focus, and that's how they ended up bridging over into AI technology. So let's see here. They've got a number of other, or pieces of information, associated, with this report. including their vision being simple yet profound, just wanting to build a truly efficient data center that can fulfill the desire for computing power in the global market. So,
sir, can I just?
We're like,
sorry,
they
can I interrupt real
utilize,
quick?
a third. I think it was like a third of high HPC, high power computing, but they only produce like 5% of it. And so in the UK, there is a high demand, for it. So that also went into, just the mindset and the concept behind moving over into AI, for this purpose behind the project. Now, let's see here. In terms of red flags, they only have an announcement channel. Actually, we're going to go ahead and take a look, at their web, well, not at the website, but obviously we'll just take a look at what I've got in terms of the Telegram. I don't recall it being just a Telegram or not an announcement channel, but we'll take a look at it here in a little bit. 3 rounds, for the sale. They did do a private sale round, a pre-sale round, and right now they are currently in their public sale round. However, they haven't completed that yet. So just want you all to be aware of that. And all 3 prices for the minimum investment amount was 1,000, and their max investment amount 250,000. So, and as you can imagine, when you're looking at numbers like that, there certainly is vesting associated with that. So, and then they give you some additional numbers in regards to how that kind of breaks down in terms of tokenomics and where. And basically, what's going to what category, in terms of their sales and the reserve, the team advisors, liquidity, marketing, and so forth. So we'll take a look, at the vetting tab. And so I know that between the day that I actually completed the vetting and then the following day, so literally under 24 hours, their Telegram had grown by over 400 members. So their Telegram is showing some very good growth. I see a number of comments in the chat. Let me go ahead and go back. Let's see here. How do I find this on the calendar? Okay, so let me go ahead and give you the link to the calendar. So there you go for the project. And okay, so yeah, you got the link now, so that should help you out, definitely. If you're still looking for the date, I can go ahead and I can look for that for you, but just let me know if you can't find it. So, all right, sorry guys, I just kept seeing comments, so I wanted to make sure I addressed that before I can continue to move forward. Now, as far as the notes, that I've added here, evidence of real communication and conversation taking place in the Telegram, over 200 pinned messages. If you've heard me talk about projects before, one of the big indicators for me in regards to a project is communication. If the team is, just very transparent and they're constantly communicating with their community, I tend to see that as a very strong signal in terms of, whether I lean into a project or I lean away from it. You'll also hear me say that no matter what signals I see in terms of a project, it's not a guarantee of success or failure. I tend to just operate in terms of, layering those signals, and either I've got more signals that move me towards a project, or I've got signals that, more of them that move me away from it. And that's just how I tend to operate in terms of how I look at projects. They do have a fully doxed team, and with a lot of different titles, a lot of different experience that's coming, to this project. Paul Fari, I think is how you say his name. I'm probably saying it wrong. He is the founder of the project, and as I said before, they are a subsidiary of Solidus Technologies, and they've shifted their focus to AI. So let's see here. I've got a number of different things mentioned, in terms of the vetting report that I'll go through. The problem is that a lot of companies in Europe, they don't have access to supercomputers, and it's a big problem, in the EU. So like I said before, the EU consumes a third of HPC, but they produce 5% of it. So they're actually, through this project, they're solving a real world problem, by generating and manufacturing these HPC centers in Europe right now. So in terms of their competition, it is a competitive space, but when they go ahead and they look at, what's going on in the EU, the reason why they think it's okay is, for them per se, is because there's a lot of demand in it. The electricity in the EU is very cheap, and they have the 4th fastest internet speed globally, so they can offer these services cheaper and faster than the competition does, which is why they're fine entering into this space. As far as the blockchain is concerned, they say that anybody can purchase AI services, in the platform. They can also offer enterprise solutions, for government authorities and licensing agreements, of the blockchain solutions and private ledgers through their platform as well. The blockchain obviously is secured and it's decentralized, which is a good thing, right? But really, there's no point of failure through the blockchain, so that's why they like the connection between this project and the blockchain. There are members on their board that work in the defense sector, which I think is pretty cool personally. So they have links to NATO and the Romanian Space Agency. They also have NATO standard cybersecurity policies within the company for Solidus AI, which also helps in terms of making sure that they are very secure. So as far as the team is concerned, currently 14 members on the team. We saw the team members, listed in the team information. Once the data center has been built and the infrastructure is live and operational, they already have a number of pending contracts, which I think is also important to note, with organizations within the defense sector. So as I go ahead and I articulate a lot of this stuff, we're talking about a really, really serious project that's trying to do something that has a real world use case and solving a real world problem. So let's see here. They mentioned Adrian Stoica is key because he's going to be bringing existing clients of his to the project, and he's a key member also associated, with the project. They mentioned another guy here, Alexandru. He has ties to NATO and the Romanian Air Force. He's responsible for implementing the cybersecurity policies, through NATO in the company. They do have a lot of marketing, lined up in the pipeline. They've got, the budget here is 1 million sterling. So they've got a lot of money to go ahead and work with. If you've ever heard, members of our core team ever talking, especially Robin, marketing is one of her big things that she likes to, highlight, that if you don't really have a lot of marketing money, in a project, it's kind of hard to move that forward. So when we look at a number of other projects, we also see that they've got tax allocated, for a percentage that will go towards a marketing wallet, because as we know, if you don't have money to move the project, then it's kind of hard to help in terms of its exposure and moving the project forward. So the fact that they do have 1 million in sterling, as their budget, for marketing or allocated for marketing, I think is another good signal for this project. So one of the things that I had, heard the owner talk about is the fact that it doesn't matter if you've got the best team and the best project in the world. If you don't have a strategy for how you're going to market that project, ultimately it's just going to be, wasted funds and nobody's still going to know who you are. So they are very intentional in terms of their marketing plan and what they want to do in order to increase the footprint and exposure, for people coming to understand, who they are and what this project is setting out to do. So they are spending a lot of time doing AMAs at the time. For the AMA that I had looked at, at that time, and this was months ago, they were doing 4 per week. So that's a lot of time to invest in terms of doing an AMA. Let's see here. Influencers, they also had that lined up. They were going to be speaking with influencers to go ahead and start to talk about their project. There's going to be, a lot of fundraising, done. Total was $42 million. And then we broke down the 3 rounds of their fundraising sales stages. Let's see here. Again, looking to launch, in June of 2022 on Uniswap. Coinbase and Binance, are their goals. Now they know that they're going to need to do a lot to get there, to get the attention of Coinbase and Binance, particularly Binance, because if you know anything about how much it costs to get listed, and it's just not about the cost, but there are a number of different other, signals and factors that go into, getting listed on Binance. It's a lot of money for one, and you have to have, in terms of your exposure, there's got to be a pretty big footprint in terms of people knowing you before you can get listed on Binance. So they say, with the fundraising money, it's going to take, even then between 12 and 18 months to buy everything they need for their data center completion. It's already been built, but that money is going to be used to, buy the GPUs to run the AI contracts and the infrastructure as a service platform. So, if people that are getting into this project, certainly need to be prepared to understand that this is a long-term project. So they are adding, the ability for investors to stake their tokens and earn 7.5 APY, per annum on the, on the tokens, that are purchased. So, and investors are going to get paid, that APY in the native token. So basically, they'll be earning reflections, every quarter. So they're also going to be doing a lottery airdrop as well. So, like I said, as far as me sharing this project, with you, I'm sharing it to highlight the fact that, one, it's a very serious project. A lot of different things going on, in terms of this project. It is a long-term project, but it does look like a very, a project that has a lot of, positive signals as I look at it through the lens through which I go ahead and do some analysis. So with that said, does anybody, have any questions in regards to this? I did want to mention something. Let's see here. So yeah, they are being audited, but the audit has not been completed. Is what I would say in regards to the audit, if anybody had questions in regards to that. And I do not know who the auditing company is, because that was not disclosed. So any questions in regards to this project? So the other thing I want to do is I want to take a look, at their Telegram. So we'll do that real quick, because I'm just kind of curious. Okay, so they're at 5,080 members. Let's go ahead and do this. So, and let me see here. Sorry, I just want to go back to the project real quick and see what the numbers were. So, okay, so this is saying 19,408. So this Telegram, this is their announcements Telegram. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to, because I think I have a different Telegram. I have their chat. Okay, so here is 19,947. So I believe they have continued to grow, right? So yeah. This is 19,408, and this is 19,947. And we're talking, this is, I mean, literally, the Telegram continues to grow. I looked at this yesterday. The last time I looked at it was yesterday, and they've already had another 768 messages since yesterday. So there is a lot of activity taking place, in this Telegram. There clearly is a lot of growth. We want to see that growth anytime we decide to, analyze a project. We do want to see that there is consistent growth in a project. So again, that's just another signal. And so we're talking, within the last 2 to 3 days, I mean, what, another almost 1,000 members, yeah, about 1,000 members that have joined this. So the organic growth continues to be a good signal for me on this project as well. So, like I said, this is, to me, I like the project. I think it's got a lot of good signals going on. They're still doing, AMAs. Here's another one we're recording. They've listed or they put a recording here in the chat, for their members to go ahead and take a look at. So yeah, that's all I'm going to go ahead and say in regards to that particular project. So just wanted to go ahead and share that with the group here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at Estate X. This is one that was done by one of our scouts, Priscilla Joe, and Kay Vetter was the vetter on this. I don't know if Kurt's in here, in this chat right now, but since he was the vetter, maybe he can go ahead and speak to it. But if he's not here, then I'll just go ahead and I will continue. But I will go ahead and take a look at the website here. So let's see what we got. All right, so this website says that it's disrupting the future of real estate investment. Estate X will make investing in real estate simple, affordable, and accessible to everyone, everywhere. And it says you can join the whitelist, but obviously the timer for the whitelist is already closed. So that apparently it looks like they've got a pitch deck, as well. I don't know. Sometimes, these projects have pitch decks and they have white papers. I don't necessarily think that's necessary, but sometimes they do. So let's see here. Looks like we can just go ahead and open up a new tab and take a look at their pitch deck. So sometimes this doesn't always load right away. It's doing it great today. They've got a 29-page pitch deck that I kind of consider to be a white paper, basically. So go ahead and just kind of scroll through a little bit and see what's going on with their pitch deck. So, you know, a lot of times when I look at projects and their white papers, I won't call it a gripe, but I will say that you may see projects that have a white paper that is more or less the same thing that you saw on the website. And, you know, my take on that is that typically the website's more like, you know what, hey, we're advertising, you know, what our project is. And the white paper should be a bit more technical, answering questions that the website did not answer for you. I tend to think that's how the white paper should go. But yeah, this one does not. I mean, and we haven't, you know, scrolled through the rest of the website, you know, but yeah, I'd say if this has got 29 pages of content, maybe they've done a good job of, you know, providing some information that's just not necessarily a mirror reflection of what is on the website. So we see some information here in regards to the market. So there's some data, you know, obviously, you know, and I like the pie chart as well. So, and they're giving us information in regards to the real estate market there, highlighting, you know, the problem, you know, associated, you know, with the theme behind this project, and that obviously is real estate. So let's see here, what else do we have? Providing a solution. So I do like projects that they will start with, here's the problem, and here is how we plan to solve the problem. I think it helps to place a, you know, it just helps to direct, you know, our focus in terms of the project, and kind of, you know, it helps to add a bit more clarity into, you know, why the project exists in the first place. So I do like, you know, this graphic that they have here in terms of, you know, the high barrier, in terms of how they're explaining it. So high barriers of entry, and they're breaking down the barriers. And I guess this is the problem. Here's the solution. Low liquidity, and they have high liquidity. Cost time and money, hassle-free property management, or financial literacy and financial empowerment, and rising global inflation. And man, do we have a lot of that going on. Inflationary hedge. So, and they give their explanations, you know, for what that is. So I do like basically this flow chart in terms of how everything works. So, you know, I like the way that they're actually providing different ways to take in the information from what we've seen so far on this, or in this pitch deck. And we've got the target user base, you know, so individual investors, property owners, developers, property developers, and institutions. So, and you know, I guess looking at this, you know, right away, I'm thinking, okay, so are these are people that they're targeting, you know, or are these people associated, you know, with real estate, you know, that they would consider to be, you know, well, I guess the same thing, you know, people that would be interested in their project. So, but yeah, since I'm looking at this in real time, target regions. And so they're targeting different regions of the world in different phases. You don't always see that. In fact, I think I can look at probably, you know, a bunch of different projects and say that, you know, that's something that's not commonly done. I do see that as more of an intentional thing that they're doing as far as their project, you know, is concerned. So, so yeah, I actually do like that. The Asics Token. So this is going to be the currency driving the self-motivating estate economy, or StateX economy. The pre-sale investors are going to get exclusive access to premium real estate projects, such as renovated houses with higher yields. So I do wonder if this is more of one of those real world, where they're bridging, you know, crypto into the real world, you know, as well, when I read that line. So they've got governance associated with this, payments. The token holders will be able to pay for goods and services with their tokens like cash. I think that to me, and projects that move towards, you know, just more innovation, I think tend to also grab more of my attention too. Decentralized facilities, paying for services in the token, such as going to the gym or paying rent in the SX token in a tokenized office. So even my question earlier, you know, are they bridging towards, you know, more real world use case? And so, yes, it looks like that based on, what this is talking about. It looks like, that is probably the case. Nomination, once we've secured the required licensing, token holders are going to be able to submit real estate projects for fragmentation and trading on the platform. Events and community meetings, they will receive these tokens will receive invitations to exclusive events. All right, and premium investor strategy club. So Asics Token holders will gain access to courses, investment strategies, and live sessions with an investment coach twice a month to further develop their understanding of crypto and real estate. And, more and more projects, are moving into, ways that they can educate people on crypto. And so obviously we're seeing that as an aspect, of this project as well. I do find that to be, more of a growing trend these days. And certainly as more and more new people come into the space, I do believe that that's going to grow in terms of its popularity, because, we've had enough, of so many projects, scamming people, and, seeing that we've got projects that are intentional about wanting to educate people in the crypto space, I think is extremely helpful. Exclusive benefits, token holders are going to be able to use their tokens towards exclusive discounted offers and hand selected global partners. So yeah, it helps to incentivize, people to go ahead and hold the token. They talk about their token economy. So there's given some information, here as well, which I think is helpful. So this seems to be a feature of the token, EstateX Pay. It's going to give PropX security token holders instant liquidity on real estate investments. So I'm not really sure what the PropX is, actually, but clearly it must be something associated, with their token. So, and see here, seamlessly converting the PropX security tokens into ESX at the time or at the point of purchase. This is going to allow you to use your real estate investment to pay for goods and services. So yeah, somehow this is integrated into this token to be able to allow you to pay for goods and services. So right now, I can't really explain to you how that works, but it does appear to be a feature of this token. Let's see here, more on the economy of the token. Let's see here, how investors acquire the tokens, and then the use and spending. So they give you a bit of a breakdown in terms of how that's supposed to work. So, but yeah, and I could certainly spend, a lot more time, working through this, but, part of what I'm doing here is just, exposing you to some different projects that we do have on our calendar that you may not have been aware about. So, I know that right now we're at 428, and this is a 29-page pitch deck or white paper, so I don't want to continue to just go through that, but certainly if you're a person that's interested in this project, for this one as well, I'll go ahead and I will leave the link, for you, which I probably should have started out with that, but my apologies, for you, so you can go ahead and engage, with that project if that is of interest to you for the EstateX project. Okay, so not doing that. All right. With that said, I want to, since we're coming up on 4:30, I want to basically see if anybody has any questions so far on any projects that I've spoken about, that you can go ahead and you can leave that in the chat, or you can go ahead and unmute yourself. I'd be more than happy to go ahead and engage with anybody in the audience.
Thank you,
additionally, if there is a project that you have maybe located on the dApp and are interested in maybe having me highlight that, I can certainly do that for you as well.
What was the first project you went over?
Okay, we've got a quiet group today. All right, well,
what was the first project you went over?
Going, got one more that I had, highlighted, for today that I thought I'd take a look at. So this is called Iron Bar, and I find the name, kind of interesting, but it's actually a casino in gaming project. So some of the notes that I had associated, with this project is that they do have an audit that has been completed through Contract Checker. So I've left the link here for this particular project. I'm going to go ahead and also, since I haven't done this for the rest of them, the first project, that was Solidus AI. So, and I'm going to leave. Okay, so this one, so the link I'm leaving now is for Iron Bar. Okay, and I believe that I left the link for Solidus AI in the chat. It would have been a little bit earlier, so yeah, but you don't have to go up that far to go ahead and see it. So, but it's the first link for a first better platform.app link that I left in the chat for Solidus AI. Okay, so we will take a look, at the website for this particular project here in a minute. But as far as the comments are concerned, or comment section, I did list here that the team is KYC'd with Pink Sale, and this project has already had an AMA as well. I don't know why it's just saying no here. I did state that I didn't have any major concerns with this, so I will edit that once this call is over. But as far as like the notes here, just stating that the Spartan Casino, it's an innovative profit sharing casino which generates passive income for all token holders within the platform. The casino also lets you dive into a new realm of live dealer casino gaming with a fun, fast, probably fair and immersive iGaming experience. I'm not sure if this is a typo or not, but just being honest with you, I copied and pasted. So they do apparently, because I'm going to be vetting this soon, they do have already like a number of games and connections with casinos. Like I think something like in the neighborhood of like 125 games already that are going to be connected, to this project. And definitely, I think it was over 150 connections with casinos, as well. So yeah, which I thought was pretty incredible that they already had that going on and they haven't even launched yet. So it also says we're developing a next generation platform using the familiar and the exciting cross-chain network, including Ethereum, Polygon, and the BSC. With the BEP20 standard IBAR and Warrior tokens, holders will receive dividends in BNB, liquidity pool, and simultaneously Spartan casino profits are paid out to token holders on a daily basis. Furthermore, Spartan plans to add more crypto pairs to gamble with on the platform, which will create more passive income for Spartan players. It's a robust protocol for trustless and decentralized casino gaming in combination with live dealer will position Spartan as the future of cross-chain gambling dApps and will unlock new possibilities for players, operators, and advertisers alike. The recently blockchain-based games create a platform for partnerships with leading live dealership or game providers. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the website. So let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and close out eState. We'll open up another tab. So yeah, I did watch the trailer. The trailer is, I like the trailer. I think sometimes when projects go ahead and they give you trailers, it's kind of, yeah, maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but and sometimes they're just too long, but I think this one was the sweet spot in terms of the length. And I thought that it kept my attention, when I played it. So I won't play it now just because there's always a lag, whenever I play it. So the experiences I'm going to have in terms of looking at it's going to be different for you. So, but if you are interested in taking a look at it, I've already left the link, for the better report, for you in the chat. So you can certainly engage with it individually. So let's see here. We've got, the white paper as well. I can open up, we got a pitch deck. Honestly, I haven't taken a look at either one of these yet. Let's see, and then the IBAR token, this is going to be part, of their project, or this is actually the native token, and then the Warrior token, it's another aspect, of this project that I still need to go ahead and look into a bit further. And then they've got a staking contract, and the IBAR token contract as well. And then I believe, you've got your scroll bar here, and either I'm guessing that these are partners, is what I'm thinking right now. So, but literally, I had just seen this project, earlier today, and so I haven't, like I said, I haven't taken a deep dive into it, but I did like what I saw, which is why I'm talking about it right now. So what is Spartan Casino? And this was also, what I put in the notes section. So so we don't need to go back over that. Let's see here. So we've got some features here as part of this project. It says there's proof of stake. When players play iBar or buy RBAR tokens and put them in their wallets, they can receive a staking reward for holding the token. Now, I am a fan of staking because typically when you stake, you either get reflections in the native token, or if they've got, additional rewards, for those who stake, sometimes you can get BNB, BUSD, so dual staking, is definitely becoming increasingly more and more popular. But I'm definitely a fan of staking, because again, it's just a way of growing the amount of tokens that you have without you having to go ahead and do anything. So it says that it's secure, building on the powerful cross-chain network, gives Spartan flexibility, transparency, and security. It says that they are efficient. It's a BEP20 token and also being placed on the cross-chain on Ethereum and Polygon. So they are bridging over to these two networks, but their first network will be the BSC. It can be earned in some games on Spartan through proof of play mechanisms, and they say that they are immersive, that there is a wide selection of games. Like I said before, I know that they're already connected with like 125 games that are going to be associated with this project. There's a wide selection of games, blockchain technology, a unique live dealer experience, and a reward mechanism for all platform participants, which again, I think is pretty cool. Live dealer games, the live dealer feature is unique to the Spartan Casino and creates a new standard for online gaming platforms as a whole. It will create a real casino atmosphere for players, and while blockchain technology will provide top-notch safety and transparency protocols. And if we, the blockchain, obviously, I mean, the key feature of it is that, it's completely transparent, so that's what they're really highlighting there. So the live dealer casino gaming, play now. Not going to go ahead and click on this right now. It doesn't look like this actually goes to a live link, just hovering over it. So, but yeah, I'm guessing that will probably be live at some point. And let's see here, brand new additions to the Spartan Casino family, Spartan Gaming. It aims to create the biggest GameFi platform in the world. So definitely an ambitious goal there. The protocol will be at the forefront of DeFi innovation. And as you heard me talk earlier, on the real estate project, when projects, are moving intentionally, in the realm of trying to, be innovative, it's always very helpful when you're the first to do something, so, and everybody else coming after you is never really going to get quite the amount of attention that you get as being the first, so, with them, looking towards being intentional in terms of their own innovation, I think is, a good signal for me concerning the project. But again, I always want to highlight, signals don't mean guarantees. It's just another way of making you, look at a project and say, I'm going to start here in the middle, of the room, and the more signals I see is going to move me left or right of center. So, always keep that in mind, regardless of, and I do want to plug this in here right now, regardless of what somebody's rank is on the platform, it is not an indicator that they're never wrong. While being, a purple scout and a purple veteran on the platform, it's nice, that I have reached, that level. But I will be the first to say that, we do our due diligence, having reached that level, and even on the way up to reaching that level, to try to, provide an analysis that's accurate. But it should never be taken as your sole signal to move into a project, regardless, of the highest rank. It is the ranking system. I look at it in terms of it's another signal. Okay, so in trying to make sure that you make the most informed decision possible as you look at projects and decide to get into them or not, understand that it's the ranking to me is a signal, but it's not a guarantee. And when I look at projects, again, whenever I do these calls, you're going to hear me talk about it's signals for me, and I'm layering those signals. And like I said, they either move me right of center or they move me left of center. If they're moving me towards wanting to take a greater interest in a project, or they move me away from it. But it's never a guarantee, and I always walk into it knowing, regardless of the best signals, this project still may tank. And even if I don't see good signals, it doesn't mean that a project still can't be successful. So I just want to plug that in for all of you guys listening, on the call right now. And here, as far as the hunt is concerned, that was the concept trailer that I talked about before, that I said that I did like the trailer. It definitely kept my attention. I haven't actually looked at this one for Drift the Block, as far as that trailer is concerned, but yeah. So, and these again are concept trailers, so in regards to the games, or a couple of games. So here they give us some information in regards to the IBAR token. It says IBAR, and obviously that's the ticker. So if any of you that may be on this call, maybe you're newer to crypto, this right here sometimes is referred to the ticker or the symbol. So IBAR is the ticker. I typically call it ticker, and it's a BEP20 token, also being placed on the cross chain of ETH and Polygon on the Spartan Casino platform, where game markers, operators, and players can leverage these tokens for their respective fee and revenue. For anybody that's kind of new to Polygon as well, you definitely need a Polygon wallet to interact with tokens on the Polygon network. But you just need the information, like you go through your MetaMask, and so there's information that you would input into your MetaMask to be able to create a Polygon wallet. But from what I hear, it's easy. I haven't done it myself. But yeah, just wanted to go ahead and add that information for anybody that's wondering, like, how do I engage with the Polygon network? So let's see here. IBAR is a gaming token that will be deployed with both in-house casino games called the Dice War, Bobble Drop, Roulette, and Mega Dice, and GameFi games on the metaverse, like the Hunt, the Drift, and Drift the Block. So how many IBAR tokens are available? Envisioning the decentralization nature of Spartan Casino, IBAR harness peer-to-peer technology, offering inexpensive, secure, and transparent gaming experience. There's going to be a total of 100 million IBAR token supply. I tend to look at 100 million as being low supply. So yeah, I mean, and low supply in my mind typically means, when you're looking at, like prices, and you see like a token that has, I don't know, like 8 or 9 zeros, that's probably when you're looking at having trillions of tokens as far as their supply is concerned. So less zeros probably means there's going to be less in terms of token supply. So that's another way to go ahead and look at that. Let's see, out of which 10 million is to be minted, with a cap of 15 million on the mint function. The value of holding IBAR. Let's see here, you can use the token as in-game currency, enabling trading, staking, and earning within the platform. This platform follows an incentivized system where players receive IBAR tokens and for playing games. It supports a wide range of casino games, starting from the slots, roulettes, dice games, live dealer games, and sports betting, just to list a few. So I would never encourage gambling, but I think we've all played some card games, at one point or another. So and I do envision, that these types of games are probably just going to grow in popularity in crypto. That's just my own opinion, but I do believe that is probably something that may happen. IBAR token holders can also stake their tokens and earn attractive staking returns in the form of APY. In the long run, token holders get the opportunity to earn even, some percentage of the company's profit, which I do think is pretty cool. That as a token holder, you have the opportunity to earn some of the profits that the company takes in. Now, we don't know if that's going to be like a quarterly thing, a yearly thing, we have no idea. But I think that them putting that in there is just another way to incentivize people to participate in acquiring their token. Moreover, Spartan Casino is currently working on ensuring the speedy listing of IBAR tokens on various crypto exchanges. And even though we have not accessed their roadmap, I'm sure very early on, they're going to be trying to get on CMC and CoinGecko as well, in addition to some other exchanges, beyond that. So we see, looking here at the token distribution, that we've got 45% going towards the gaming, 22% going towards staking, 10% going towards marketing, technology, and operations. as you heard me talk about before, you need money going to marketing, because if you don't have money going to marketing, how are you going to, move the project forward? And so one of the things that's common, for investors to ask is, what are you doing in terms of marketing? Now, a lot of times, in projects, in their roadmaps, they don't necessarily tell you what they're doing in terms of marketing, but they list it, and so I personally like to know, like, I want more details in terms of what you're doing in terms of marketing. Now, if all you're doing is a bunch of PooCoin ads and trying to go ahead and get votes, on all these coin sites, I don't necessarily see that as a strong signal of the marketing team, knowing what they need to do to effectively market the project. You got to do more than putting up a bunch of ads on PooCoin and getting votes through these coin websites, and you got to do more than just doing a bunch of call channels as well, through Telegram. So that's just another thing that I tend to look at when I look at a project in terms of what they're going to do to push the project. Now, that's not a be all end all for me in terms of they're not going to go ahead and do extensive marketing. It just kind of depends on what are you trying to achieve from getting into that project. Are you looking at that project in terms of it just being short term? Are you looking at it in terms of being long term? If it's more of a long term play for you, then maybe you do want to see a lot more in terms of marketing. I mean, I know for me personally, I would. But if it's more of a short term play, then you know what? Maybe doing some PooCoin ads and some trying to go ahead and get some different channels on Telegram to go ahead and call out your project to their community. That might be suitable for what your strategy is in terms of whether you're short term or long term in terms of how you're looking at that project. So those are just some questions to consider as you are coming up with your strategy and doing your own analysis in terms of a project. So we've got 1% going to the burn function. So they're going to be, so it's a small burn. I don't know if this is basically, well, I think this is probably just strictly a burn. So they're burning some of their tokens, so if you're not familiar with, the burning of tokens, as you burn tokens, you reduce the circulating supply, and reducing the circulating supply, it increases the value of the tokens you already hold. So it's a small burn amount, but that's okay. I'd rather have that burn function there than not have it. And then we've got 10% going to liquidity. So let's see here. And then they give us some information in regards to the warrior token. So this is also part of, this is also associated, with this token. It's going to be called WAR, a BEP20 standard token on the casino or Spartan casino platform. It allows the holders access to a very unique revenue stream on the platform. In addition, the IBAR will also be linked to the Hunt game on the metaverse to make it an attractive token for wider playing community. I think it's definitely a typo. However, one of the things they said was that it gives you access to a very unique revenue stream on the platform. One thing that you may not be aware of is that, one thing that really hampers a lot of tokens, in crypto is the fact that they are completely reliant on trading volume. So if you don't have other ways to go ahead and bring money into the project and you're solely reliant on trading volume, you're probably not going to see a lot of success. So, one of the things that to me is also a good signal is when a project has different ways to earn revenue for the platform that isn't directly tied to the token and trading volume. So, because then that, hey, and there's always different, we know about, bear markets and bull markets, in crypto. So when you are basically, in crypto winter, where trading is low and sentiment is just a bit different, in terms of crypto, a token or a project that still has other ways to, earn revenue for the project is in a better position to sustain the viability of the project, because they're not reliant on trading volume. So that's also something to keep in mind as well as you look into projects. So let's see here, how many warrior tokens are available. To further drive the value of warrior, there are 100 million tokens that are pre-minted. Again, I tend to still consider this a lower volume token. And I prefer those as opposed to, tokens where they've got like, trillions of tokens. But that's just my own personal feeling about it. So let's see here. We're at 4:50, so I don't want to go ahead and just keep going on. If somebody has a question and they want to kind of jump in, for a minute, by all means, you can go ahead and enter it in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and let me know if you have a question. We will be ending this call in the next 5 minutes, so that for the next meeting that I have to go ahead and be a part of, I can go ahead and take over the Zoom account. So with that said, does anybody have a question before I continue, or I want to give somebody else an opportunity to talk if they'd like to go ahead and chime in?
I'm going to have a question, but that is not related to what you're talking about right now. But I just want to wait until you finish and then ask my question
today. Okay, so with that said, let's see here. This is the token distribution, for the Warrior token. So we're looking at, let's see, 30 million, let's see, for players on gaming on the Spartan platform. We see 15 million tokens allocated towards, let's see, marketing, publicity, and promotions, 16 going to the public sale, 10 million going to the private sale, and then 10 million going to technology and licenses, 9 million going to operations, 5 million towards management, 4 million towards liquidity supply for listing, and 1 million towards the burning of the tokens. So we've got staking rewards. Let's see here. They've got an APY of 11.1% should you decide to go ahead and stake. So as I said before, I think staking is important. Well, at least in my own opinion. I see a couple of comments in the chat. Mauricio. Oh, they're trying to talk. I had no
Yes,
idea.
sir.
I don't see anything highlighted on my end.
Yeah, that was me. Can you hear me now?
I don't see.
Can you hear me?
There we go. I see a hand. Okay, hold on. Mauricio.
Can you hear me?
On my end, I only see, muting. Okay, are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't hear anybody. So sorry about that.
Oh, I was talking and like, my question has to do that I lost access to my Discord, my paid Discord, and that's why I wanted to wait until the end. Maybe you can point me to the right place because I've been sending emails but no reply yet.
You know what I can. So this is in regards to Vetter, right?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I can go ahead and have you go to the support Telegram.
I did, and there's not been reply yet, and since last night, so nobody has replied. Okay. I have access yesterday during the day, and late in the evening it was gone. And like, what happened? So I don't know if you guys discontinue it because everything is done now on the it's being done now on the website or on the calendar, or I don't know.
So nobody's responded to you in support, huh?
No, I got to talk to Jeremy last night, but he told me that wasn't his he didn't deal with that
area of expertise.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you. How about that? You were just given an email to go ahead and email support. Thank you, Brian. Can you utilize the email and then let me know? I mean, I should be back on the call tomorrow. I don't know that I'll be hosting it, but yeah, if you can let us know if you were able to go ahead and reach somebody that way, that'd be, so hopefully that will work out for you. But thank you, Brian, for providing that.
So got an email already?
So if you look in the chat, Brian provided an email. It says support@better.ai.
It says better platform, or let me see at the end.
Yeah, can you see it at the end of chat?
ES is support. Yes. And
Right.
I think I sent an email to those. I even talked to what's her name, Anna Peters. Well, I sent an
Yeah,
email.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even know she's there no more. So
She's not there anymore?
I don't know. I mean, she hasn't replied since last night.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you send the email and let's see if you can get a response that way.
Yeah, I'll
And
do that.
okay. Yeah, and like I said, I'll try to join the call tomorrow, and then maybe you can let me know if you were able to get a response that way. And if you can't, then maybe I can step in and try to help you out.
All right, thank you much. And I know this is not the place, but I'm getting desperate, you know.
I understand. Yeah, see if you can get make some headway with that. And like I said, if you can't, let me know tomorrow, and I'll see if I can help you out.
All right, thank you much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm so sorry, guys, that I couldn't hear you. I don't know what was going on, but I can hear you now. Was there another question that I could address before I have to close out the call? Okay. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. I do enjoy spending time with you guys, going through projects. So as always, I appreciate, such a captive audience. And you guys, as always, I just want you to enjoy the day and continue to hopefully have some good experiences, here in crypto. All right, you guys take care. It's been a blessing. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. Take care,
Thank
everybody.
you.